The first night it happened, I told myself it was just a dream. Asterisk, that's what everyone tells themselves when reality feels too sharp, too wrong to touch directly. I remember waking suddenly, my heart pounding for no clear reason, the room soaked in darkness, except for a thin strip of moonlight leaking through the half-open curtain. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, listening to the low hum of the fan, trying to slow my breathing. Then the mattress dipped, not a violent jolt, not a sudden drop, just a slow, deliberate sinking as if someone had carefully placed their weight beside me. Asterisk, I froze. Asterisk, every muscle in my body locked in place. My breath caught halfway in my chest. The bed creaked softly, the familiar sound it always made when someone sat down. I felt the pressure clearly now, right near my legs. Close enough that the warmth should have been unmistakable. Asterisk, but there was no warmth. Asterisk, the air around that side of the bed felt colder, heavy, as if it carried a presence rather than a temperature. I wanted to turn my head. I wanted to scream. Instead, I lay there pretending to sleep, because some deep instinct told me that whatever was sitting there was waiting to see if I noticed. Asterisk, after a few seconds or minutes, time felt distorted. The pressure slowly lifted. The mattress rose back to its normal shape. The room was empty. I didn't sleep again that night. Asterisk, in the morning, sunlight made everything seem foolish. I laughed it off while brushing my teeth, calling myself paranoid, overworked, imagining things. Old house noises, muscle spasms, a half-dream. Anything but the truth my body already knew, because dreams don't make the bed sink. The second night, I stayed awake. Asterisk, I lay on my back with the lights off, phone face down on the nightstand, eyes open, watching the shadows crawl slowly across the ceiling. Midnight passed, then 1, then 2. I began to feel stupid, embarrassed by my own fear. Asterisk, at exactly 3:11 a.m., the mattress dipped again. Asterisk, this time, I was wide awake. The pressure was heavier now, slower, intentional. My heart slammed so hard, I thought it might give me away. The bed creaked once, then went silent. I felt the fabric of the sheet tighten slightly near my thigh, like fingers pressing into it. Not gripping, just resting. I could sense it beside me. Don't know how to explain that feeling to someone who hasn't experienced it. It wasn't sight or sound. It was awareness. The same way you know when someone is standing behind you without turning around. Asterisk, something was sitting on my bed. Asterisk, I counted my breaths. 1, 2, 3. My eyes burned from refusing to blink. The room smelled different, stale, damp, like a place that hadn't been opened in years. The cold crept closer, crawling up my legs. Then I heard it, breathing. Asterisk, not loud, not dramatic. Just a slow, shallow inhale and exhale, right next to me. Too close. Close enough that if I turned my head, our faces would almost touch. I squeezed my eyes shut. I don't know how long it stayed. When the pressure finally lifted, I waited another full minute before moving. When I snapped the lamp on, my room was exactly the same as always, except for the dent in the mattress. It stayed there for several seconds before slowly rising. That was when I stopped pretending it was nothing. The next day, I didn't tell anyone. How could I? Hey, something invisible sits on my bed at night isn't exactly a conversation starter. I searched online instead. Sleep paralysis, hypnagogic hallucinations, stress-induced sensory experiences. None of them fit. I wasn't paralyzed. I could move, I just didn't dare to. And hallucinations don't leave physical impressions. Asterisk, that night, I slept with the lights on. It didn't matter. The pressure came earlier this time. Before midnight, stronger, confident. The bed dipped so deeply, it pulled me slightly toward it. Like the mattress recognized the weight and adjusted accordingly. Asterisk, I felt the sheet tug. Something shifted beside me. Then, very gently, something touched my leg. Asterisk, I almost screamed. The touch wasn't rough. It wasn't painful. It was light, exploratory, like someone testing whether I was real. Fingers traced slowly along my calf, stopping just below my knee. I bit down on my lip so hard I tasted blood. A thought surfaced. Cold and clear. It knows I'm awake. Asterisk. The breathing changed. Slower, deeper, satisfied. And then it leaned closer. I felt the bed sink near my shoulder now, the pressure redistributing as it bent toward me. The cold wrapped around my arm. I could feel the outline of something next to me, though I couldn't see it. A shape, a weight, a presence that didn't belong. A whisper brushed my ear. It didn't say words. It said my name. Not spoken, exhaled. Asterisk, I lost control then. I rolled off the bed and hit the floor hard, scrambling backward until my spine hit the wall. I flicked the light on with shaking hands. The bed was empty, but the sheets were wrinkled on one side. The mattress was indented, deep and unmistakable, like someone had just stood up. Asterisk, that night, I slept on the couch. It followed me. The couch cushion dipped near my feet at 3 a.m. Asterisk. By the fourth night, I understood something terrifying. Asterisk, it wasn't attached to the bed. It was attached to me. I started noticing things during the day. My mattress smelled faintly damp, no matter how often I changed the sheets. The indentation on one side seemed permanent, as if the foam had learned to accept an extra body. I began finding faint marks on my legs in the morning, small, reddish impressions like fingertips that faded after an hour. Asterisk, I stopped sleeping entirely. Asterisk, exhaustion blurred the line between night and day. Shadows lingered too long. Sounds felt closer than they should. And sometimes, even while awake, I felt a subtle pressure beside me, like a memory pressing into the air. Asterisk, on the seventh night, I decided to face it. Asterisk, I sat on the bed with the lights off, back against the headboard, heart racing, waiting. When the mattress dipped, I didn't pretend to sleep. Asterisk, I know you're there, I whispered. The pressure deepened. The air grew colder. Asterisk, something shifted closer, slow and deliberate, until I felt the weight against my side. My stomach churned. I wanted to run, but my body refused to move. Asterisk, what do you want? I asked. Silence. Then, carefully, deliberately, it sat fully on the bed, right next to me. And this time, it didn't leave. It stayed. Asterisk, that was the worst part. Not the fear, not the cold, not even the fact that something unseen was pressed against my side, but the certainty that it had decided to remain. The mattress no longer shifted in cautious increments. The weight was settled now, final, like a person who had found their place and had no intention of moving. Asterisk, I sat rigid, staring into the dark, my pulse roaring in my ears. The air felt thick, difficult to breathe, as if the room itself was holding its breath with me. I could feel the outline of it more clearly now, not through sight, but through pressure and absence. Where warmth should have been, there was none. Where space should have been, there was something occupying it. Asterisk, you can't be here, I whispered, though the words felt useless the moment they left my mouth. Asterisk, the bed creaked softly as it shifted again, closer this time. The weight leaned in, and the cold brushed my arm, my shoulder, my neck. I fought the urge to recoil, every nerve screaming at me to move, to run, to do anything except remain still. But fear had pinned me in place more effectively than any physical restraint. Asterisk, then it did something unexpected. It lay down. The mattress sank along my side as if another body had stretched out beside me. The sheets tugged, pulled gently toward the empty space that was no longer empty. I could feel the length of it now, the way its presence extended from where my shoulder rested down past my legs. It felt wrong, too long, too heavy in places it shouldn't have been. I squeezed my eyes shut. A slow pressure settled against my back, like a chest rising and falling. I felt the faintest movement, a rhythm, not quite breathing, but close enough to make my skin crawl. Whatever it was mimicking something human, learning the shape of me, the way I occupied the bed. And then I felt an arm. It slid across my waist. Not grabbing, not pulling, just resting there. Possessive and calm. The touch was cold. Not painfully so, but unnaturally cold, like skin that had never known warmth. My mind fractured under the sensation. I couldn't tell if I was awake or trapped in some elaborate hallucination brought on by exhaustion. Asterisk, a whisper came again, closer than before. "I've been waiting," it said. The voice wasn't male or female. It sounded like many voices layered together, muffled, as though speaking through water or dirt. The words brushed directly against my thoughts rather than my ears. "Asterisk, what are you?" I asked, barely able to form the sentence. The arm tightened slightly. "You invited me." Asterisk, a sharp, icy dread cut through me. "I never..." Asterisk, "Yes," it interrupted gently. "You did." Asterisk, images flooded my mind without warning. Memories I hadn't thought about in years. The night I moved into the house. The exhaustion. The loneliness. Me lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, whispering into the dark, because there was no one else to hear me. Asterisk, I hate sleeping alone, I had said that night. I wish someone were here. Asterisk, the arm around me tightened again, almost affectionate. I listened, it whispered. Panic exploded in my chest. I tried to sit up, to shove myself free, but the weight pressed down harder, pinning me to the mattress. The bed groaned under the sudden increase in pressure, springs protesting as if bearing far more than a single body. Asterisk, you don't get to leave, it said, no longer gentle. Not yet. Asterisk, the room darkened further, shadows bleeding into one another until I couldn't tell where the walls ended. The cold deepened, sinking into my bones. I felt its presence everywhere, now behind my eyes, inside my chest, coiled around my thoughts. I screamed, or I tried to. No sound came out. My mouth opened, my throat strained, but the room swallowed every noise. The arm around me slid higher, fingers brushing my collarbone, my neck. Asterisk, sleep. It breathed. The world tilted. When I woke up, it was morning. Asterisk, sunlight streamed through the window, warm and ordinary. Birds chirped outside. For a brief, blissful moment, relief washed over me so hard, I nearly cried. It had been a nightmare. A vivid one, yes, but nothing more. And I tried to move. My body ached, stiff and sore, like I'd slept in an impossible position. I turned my head slowly, dread pooling in my stomach. The other side of the bed was indented, not the faint impression from before. A deep, unmistakable hollow, as if someone were still lying there. The sheets were pulled tight around the shape, creased and rumpled in a way that mirrored my own side. Asterisk, and there was something else. A faint imprint in the pillow beside mine, like a head. Asterisk, I didn't stay in the house that day. I grabbed whatever I could fit into a bag and left, not bothering to lock the door behind me. I drove aimlessly, my hands shaking on the steering wheel, replaying the night over and over in my head. Asterisk, you invited me. The words echoed no matter how loud I turned the radio. I checked into a cheap motel on the edge of town, the kind with flickering lights and thin walls, but I didn't care. I just needed to be somewhere else, somewhere unfamiliar. I slept with the TV on, the lights blazing, the door bolted shut. Asterisk, at 3:11 a.m., The bed dipped. Asterisk, I didn't open my eyes this time. I didn't need to. I felt it immediately. The cold, the weight, the certainty of it. The mattress sank deeply beside me, deeper than it had at home, like the bed was struggling to accommodate something far heavier than it should have been. Asterisk, you can't run, it whispered. You belong to me now. I left the motel before dawn. Days blurred together after that. I stayed with friends, with distant relatives, even slept in my car once when I ran out of places to go. It didn't matter. Wherever I slept, it followed. Always at night. Always at the same time. Always closer. Asterisk, sometimes I felt it sit. Sometimes it lay down. Sometimes it didn't touch me at all, just hovered. Close enough that I could feel the cold. Pressing into my skin. It never left marks anymore. It didn't need. 2. Asterisk, I stopped sleeping. Completely. I drank coffee until my hands shook. Energy drinks until my heart felt like it might burst. But exhaustion is patient. It waits. And when it finally claimed me, it did so without mercy. I woke up one afternoon lying in my own bed, back in the house. Asterisk, the room was dark, the curtains drawn. My phone lay dead on the nightstand. Panic surged through me as I sat up, trying to remember how I'd gotten there. My last clear memory was falling asleep in my car, parked outside a gas station. The mattress dipped immediately. Not beside me, not behind me. 2 arms wrapped around my torso, pulling me back against something solid and cold. My back pressed into a chest that didn't rise or fall. A head lowered near my ear. Asterisk, this is where you asked me to come, it said. This is where we stay. Asterisk, I struggled, screamed, thrashed, but it was useless. The grip was unyielding, impossibly strong. The bed sank under the combined weight, the frame groaning, wood cracking softly in protest. Asterisk, I don't want you, I sobbed. Please. It was silent for a long moment. Then it laughed. Asterisk, the sound was wrong. Too many voices at once, overlapping, echoing as if coming from inside the walls, the floor, my own skull. Asterisk, you don't have to want me, it said. You just have to need me. Asterisk, the room grew darker, shadows crawling up the walls, swallowing the light entirely. I felt something press against the back of my head, a cold palm, fingers spreading gently through my hair. Sleep, it whispered again. This time, I did. When I woke up, the house was quiet. Too quiet. Asterisk, I lay still, afraid to move, afraid of what I might feel beside me. Slowly, cautiously, I reached out. The other side of the bed was empty. No indentation. No cold. No presence. Asterisk, relief hit me so hard it left me dizzy. I laughed, a shaky, hysterical sound, and sat up. Sunlight streamed through the window. Everything looked normal, peaceful. I told myself it was over. That night, I slept alone. Asterisk, the next morning, I noticed something strange. My side of the bed was indented. Deeply. Asterisk, as if someone else had slept where I had been. Asterisk, I tried to ignore it. Tried to convince myself it was just wear and tear, that mattresses shift over time. But as days passed, the indentation grew worse. The bed began to feel unfamiliar, like it was shaped for a body that wasn't mine. Asterisk, I started waking up on the wrong side. Asterisk, sometimes I found my pillow cold in the morning, damp with something that wasn't sweat. Sometimes I woke up facing the wall, my back pressed against empty space. That felt occupied. Asterisk, and sometimes, when I caught my reflection in the mirror, I didn't recognize the expression on my face. Asterisk, it wasn't fear anymore. It was contentment. The realization came slowly, like a poison working its way through my veins. I wasn't being haunted. I was being replaced. One night, as I lay in bed, Staring at the ceiling, I felt the mattress dip not beside me, but beneath me. The pressure shifted, rearranged, until I realized with a sickening clarity that I was the one sitting on the bed now, watching, waiting. Asterisk. Door to the bedroom creaked open. Someone stepped inside. They looked just like me, tired, afraid, alone. They lay down on the bed, right where I had once slept out. Asterisk. And without thinking, without choice, I sat beside them. The mattress dipped, and somewhere deep inside, a voice whispered, satisfied and calm. Asterisk. I've been waiting.